All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to make this literally as quick as possible. I just ran out of storage on my device here. I had the Patreon video loading over there, and then we also had this going on here. So now I'm going to try and squeeze in both of these things extremely quick here. I'm just going to try and make a 5-minute update. We're going to see how these things go, all right? Over there, that video is definitely very different from what you're going to be getting here. All right, but let's quickly run through everything and just run through. I'm just going to point out the obvious things I'm seeing on the chart. First of all, you have declining volume. This whole rip on SPY and QQQ, all done off of declining volume as you were literally just, you're shredding over here. All right, so that is right there. That is your first sign right there of rug pull. But I'm going to point out over here, we'll actually just look at QQQ. All right, so QQQ, you clearly could see this represented on the weekly time frame here with the weekly volume candlestick. You literally are just rallying off of declining volume. That's not going to lead to something good. All right, you see how you just were rallying here off of your 3 weeks of declining volume here. All right, and then you come up here and you had one more week after that, and boom, there's your peak. All right, so we could be peaking next week. All right, we're going to discuss that in this very quick video here. All right, but yeah, we have PCE tomorrow, and that literally has the strength to, we're either going to see a rug pull come up here, all right, and obviously we're going to go over the charts, but I want to talk a little bit about PCE. All right, PCE is the Fed's favorite inflation data, or favorite inflation indicator. I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk fast here, all right? Little jibber jabber. But yeah, right. So it is going to cause a big reaction, and we do currently have the chart setting up to dump, in my personal opinion. All right. Gonna look back here at what we are rocking with very quick here. All right, daily setup. We have a daily bearish divergence going on in the CCI, and you have this massive bearish divergence going on the RSI. All right, this is something that hasn't taken place the whole entire bear market. You have not had the bearish divergence pop up, right? So that is what's happening right here. You had it last pop up on the RSI up here at the top. Well, now guess what? We have an even bigger one popping up right here. So are we about to see this take place again? I don't know. All right, we're probably doing, guys, we have a crash loading. It's going to be popping up at some point. All right, I don't know if it's going to be right now. I don't think it's going to be right now, but I mean, I don't care. I don't have a crystal ball. I fully acknowledge that. All right, I hope you guys acknowledge that. I have no crystal ball. No idea what happens tomorrow. The best we could do is we could bring an order to the chaos and make sense of all of the chaos. All right, we do here on the channel, in case you are new, we literally bring an order to the chaos and we connect the dots. Everything does work together. Everything you see over here on my watch list right here, all right, this is my vids watch list. They all do work together. They do. And we got Apple in here. That's not an index, but it is something that does, it's the largest component of SPY and QQ. So if we're seeing things on this, it's going to be moving the market either way. All right, and if you're seeing confluence here between Apple and QQ, then it's probably going to be leading to a rather large move. All right, so the RSI on Apple over here is all the way up here. That was your peak at 75. That is where I will be looking for your RSI to peak out here on like this rip here. So if we do end up getting up here, that is where I am going to call like, hey, you're probably going to start seeing like this rally is going to start coming to an end. All right, that is where you're probably going to see it hold. Same thing over here on QQQ. I don't think you go much higher, right? You had a 73 RSI over here, 73, 76. All right. If you start seeing this RSI peak up to 70, I'm going to start saying, hey, halt the brakes. All right. We're probably going to start declining. All right. Now, I'm also going to say we have had volume on the buyer side for, except we had this suggesting sellers were going to have their way that day. Well, guess what? All right, now we have increasing, well, it's not increasing sell volume yet, but it is only 3:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have like 50 minutes. So I expect we are going to have that increasing, we're going to have that volume spike there, and we're going to have increasing sell volume here on QQ. I don't know what happens here with SPY, but same thing, all right? You get the increased sell volume. It's suggesting sellers are going to be taking you lower tomorrow, right? Either with the gap down, or they hold you flat, or even gap you up, and then boom, they get their way by bringing you under today's low, all right, which would be on QQ. It's at 312.81, so that is the thing. All right, sorry, I'm moving fast, all right, but that is what we got to do here, all right? IWM, guys, everything, like, it really doesn't look good. We're going to move on to the lower time frames here, all right? I will, tomorrow's video, Friday video, it will be, it'll be much more detailed than this, but I am just pointing out the obvious things that I am seeing on the chart here, to draw my big picture point of view here, all right? You have the bearish engulfing candlestick forming on IWM. DIA does have its stochastic beginning to hinge down from overbought territory. You have a hangman candlestick here. You have a big fat bearish engulfing candlestick here. You have the gapping up doji candlestick over there on QQQ, and then you have gapping up doji over here on SPX, and SPY has a similar to the hangman candlestick. Now over here on VIX, right? So you're getting your buying pressure over here on VIX. It's not actual buying pressure, but it is like technicals still apply here on Mr. VIX. You clearly can see that. It doesn't really matter what moves that thing, whether that be, people buying individual shares, which no, they cannot do that on VIX. I'm pretty sure they cannot do that on VIX. Or it's the, options being bought and sold on SPX, all right? Regardless, there is something very, precisely controlling this thing is what I'm getting at, all right? And yeah, just as we expected, all right? You were either going to get your selling or your buying pressure stepping in here at this trend line, or you're going to get it stepping in over here. All right, or your RSI trend line. That was the third option there as well. You did not get it at the RSI trend line. You got it right here. All right, so you are getting that. I don't know if that's going to hold. All right, but if we did, my two scenarios I laid out, if we break down here and start coming up for the back, this is a scenario where you get that 408.14 gap fill, and then that would be that. All right, but if you hold the trend line, start bouncing off, then you start seeing impulsiveness come in from here. All right, impulsive buying here on VIX, even though we just went over that's not really the case. All right, that is when I would be looking for, all right, that is when you're looking for, hey, false breakout over in SPX and SPY, and boom, you're coming back down. All right, regardless, is it a false breakout? It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. We're going to have to see what happens, all right? We can extend this line out here. Let's just go a little like that, just so it comes back down and we can, we can see it. All right. Regardless, though, I expect buyers are going to be stepping in here at 396.49. That was the gap fill over here that you left behind. And then also it would be the trend line touch. So it would be the perfect spot. So it's either going to be here, you're getting your buyers stepping in, or it's going to be here. All right. But I do think it's going to be the second spot down here because this it's perfect. All right. It looks pretty sexy to me. All right. It would flow. It would work. All right, now stepping over to the lower time frames here, right? We went over, you had the daily bearish divergence on the CCI and QQQ, and then you also have the bearish divergence on the weekly CCI and QQ, and then you also have the bearish divergence on the daily RSI and QQ. So, I mean, definitely the setup, in my opinion, is to sell, all right? But like I told you guys, we're going to be getting this we're either going to see IWM. IWM's RSI was oversold while QQ's was overbought. Now, we had a triple bullish divergence going on IWM's daily RSI, and that was occurring back down here. And I was saying, hey, that doesn't make sense, all right? We also said it didn't make sense back over here, just like we also started saying it didn't make sense over here, all right? We've been talking about this, all right? When things don't make sense, guys, I got you, all right? I will be here each and every day trying to do my best to bring an order to the chaos. All right. I've got you. I got me. I got you. All right. But yeah. All right. We were saying that we were either going to see IWM's RSI get the bounce, which means IWM is going to get the bounce. We're either going to see IWM get a little bounce, and then we're going down for a decent size sell there, which then we would see QQQ's oscillators play out here. We got going on in your daily, you got the daily bearish divergence on the CCI, and then also this big one over here. All right, but when I made that when I made those scenarios, I didn't know about this bearish divergence on the Apple in QQ's daily RSI here. I had no idea. All right, so now that I see this, now it's extremely likely that that is the case. That first scenario I just outlined, and the second scenario was that we start selling off a little on. We start going back down on IWM, get the RSI back down into overbought or oversold territory down here, probably with another bullish divergence, and then we start seeing a decent size buy over there, and then that would mean QQ would start pulling back, probably would pull back to here or here, and then boom, you would be off the races. But guess what? We didn't get that. We got a new high on QQ, so we're getting that first scenario where IWM gets that bounce, and then we see QQ's setup finally get to play out. All right, that is what I think is overall going to be happening, guys. That is pretty much it. All right, you come over here to the weekly CCI over here on VIX. All right, and it's now pretty much the opposite of what we got over here on QQ. I think it's very likely that you start seeing a rug pull commence. And I don't know if PC sends you up tomorrow. All right, but if it does send you up tomorrow, I'm going to be watching 322.08 gap fill right here, and I'm watching for you to fade that because technically speaking, I do think you are going to be fading that. And hey, if you got a bullish catalyst there to bring you on up to this target up here on a SPY, this 418.31 target, and yeah, it's not on my board, but it is like, hey, all right, you broke out from this pattern. That is what it would be. That would be the second target there. And there you go. Or you come up, maybe you literally get that catalyst. It brings you up to the 408.14 gap fill. And there you go. You back test this rising wedge that you fell out of. There you go. Then you're off on your way. All right. And keep in mind, guys, one of these rising wedge targets here are literally the last target is the low. And the low was 348.11. So it's not off the table that we come back down here. I know we made this higher high here, but we're going to have to see what happens here. I have a feeling we're going to start coming down, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be just trading what is in front of me. And yeah, I will keep you guys updated. I will catch you guys as we go. I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you guys do want to join the Patreon, join the community over there, someone asked like what I provide over there. So I will outline that right now. All right. So first of all, you get all my trade ideas along with the trade plans. That includes the entries, exits, the risk management. All right. So my stop loss. And then you also get like the actual trade plans, right? Where are you going to be taking profits on this? All right. Where I'm adding in halves here, right? Where do I add the first half? Well, if I'm making the trade idea, I'm usually adding right there. All right. But then it will be like, hey, where do you add that second half? Right. And then where's that stop? What's that happening? You know, there is the trade ideas itself. And then you get, now you got the Discord community. So you do get a community of people over there. So there will be that. All right. And then on top of that, you will get all of my updates that continuously come out that go along with the trades. And then on top of that, you will also, I'm going to show you guys the Patreon right now, all right? But you will get the actual index updates that come out pretty often. So even if you don't want to trade like my stuff, right, which I'm just going to say, yes, guys, I will continue to kill it. All right, guys, I will continue to be in the zone, all right? That is my promise to you guys. I will do everything I can to make sure this group is successful moving forward. All right, well, we'll just say remains successful moving forward. So yeah, that is pretty much it. You're gonna constantly get my trade ideas, and we'll just look at this, right? This is something that popped up, right? Just for an example. Now I actually took all my profits out of this one, all right? I had 1/3 riding on this, and then some guy was hyping it up in the Weeble comments on my post, and I was like, he's promoting it. I'm going to take my profits. But this is an example of like, hey, all right, that, there was that, all right, that ended up, this is just a swing trade idea that I'm going to let you guys know, all right? I can't guarantee I nail all of these. I guarantee I'm not going to, all right? But I do know at the end of the day that if someone were to just do what I'm doing and take all of these trade ideas with similar position sizing and the same risk management there, all right, and not same risk to reward ratio, because, some of these are going to have higher risk to reward ratios, but, there's that. If someone is doing that and approaching each and every one of these trade ideas like with that mentality, yeah, you're going to be winning. I'm going to tell you guys right now, all right? I made a mistake literally yesterday. So I just actually did, I will not have one of my jobs as of next week. So I'm very excited about that. So I will have literally so much time open up, guys. I will finally I'll be getting finally a full night's rest. I have not had that in probably 6 months, 5-6 months. And I also I've had absolutely no time, and I have been rushed, and it's doing a disservice to anybody, any Patreon member, anybody in the community. It's a disservice to you to be putting my time towards that, when in reality it's going to be taken away from that. And also it's a disservice to me. All right. So there's that. But I'll say literally up until yesterday, dude, I haven't had one slip up an entire month. We consistently nailed each and every trade idea that popped up. All right. There was like one, I'm going to say Oxy. All right. Oxy. And I'm going to say off the top of my head, 10 to 15 last month, you had 50 to 100% gainers. 10 to 15 of them, we had them last month, 50 to 100% gainers. I'm going to say there were 2 that ran over 200%. I'm going to say probably, I guess 5 of those probably ran over 100%. I know there was one that ended up, it was March 17. I think it was 300 calls. All right. Those ended up running very fat there. It like extremely, extremely fat. And that ended up running a couple 100%. All right. But they are consistent swing trade ideas. But on top of that, you also just get to trade the markets day in and day out with me. So that, I guess, if I had to say what I am offering, at the end of the day, that is the biggest value. You get to trade with me. All right. There's that. Like, yes, you get the community. But if you want proof of concept with someone, if you want to pay $40 to literally observe someone do what you want to do, that is the Patreon. All right. That is the value I provide. I show you exactly how it's done. And yeah. that is that. All right, guys. With that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. I would love to have you over there, but at the end of the day, if you guys are finding value in this, please, just the best way you could support me is with a like. All right, help pump the stock. All right. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.